Hey guys, welcome to the CO visit. Colin Zafka here, and always with my trusty coffee. How's everyone doing? Thanks for clicking on this video. Thanks for following along with me here and being along with me in this journey. Well, it was quite a eventful day yesterday, and boy. Well, I'll give you a little background of what happened. I got a message from my daughter Cosette. So you guys all kind of know the background behind all of that. She just went back home. Those of you that don't know, about a month ago, she disassociated herself from Jehovah's Witnesses. So just before that, she had, was preparing for, right now they just got out of school. Okay, a lot of things I have to explain so you guys understand how this works here in Honduras. The school year is a lot different. The time period is a lot different than in the United States. Okay, they start school here in February and it goes to November. So right now she just got out of school. Okay, she'll be out of school now for the rest of December. Most of November, December, January, and they go back in February. That's their, it all corresponds to the climate here, and it's all backwards from the U.S. But anyway, so next year she's going into her last year of high school. Now, in high school here in Honduras, a lot different than the United States. When a youngster graduates from high school, they graduate with a profession. They basically have I guess it's a high school diploma, but it's also like a degree, and they can work right from there. They can get a job very easily. And of course, you can make the choice of going on to the university if you want to get a licensure, become licensed in whatever, whether it's finances or psychology or whatever it is you want to do, or you can go on to engineering or medicine or whatever. So most high schools will have, in high school, they'll have, for example, it's like a language arts type thing, arts, history. They'll have another one which she's taking, which is basically accounting and finances. And there's another one that's like IT. It's like informatic type thing. And different ones. The student has to choose what they do. So anyway, I just had to explain that so you understand how it is. Their last year of high school, they have to spend about half of the year doing what is called a professional practice. So they spend a certain amount of hours going to a business and basically volunteering there. The business takes them in. The business will usually give them something. I mean, symbolically, they'll pay them something for being there because they are doing something. And then a lot of students have an opportunity to stay on permanently once they do that. Not always, but it happens. So it is an opportunity. If they do their job well, they can get hired on as a normal employee from there. And then they'll give them the opportunity and they'll give them the ease of going to college so that they can go on and further their studies. So as I mentioned before, in the case of Cosette, her uncle, who is a Jehovah's Witness, is the manager of a central bank, which has a branch in the city that she's living in, Choluteca. And before all this mess happened, he was helping her to get her paperwork in and everything, and she was going to do her professional practice at the central bank, which is a really, really good opportunity and a very rare opportunity. Well, lo and behold, yesterday, earlier in the day, she sent me a message, and she sent me a screenshot in WhatsApp, and he sent this message to her mother saying that now, because of the decisions that she had made, he was no longer going to help her to do her professional practice at that bank. She'd have to go find another place. And that really upset me because as the manager of the bank, he's making that decision based on the fact that she's no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So he's carrying over the shunning practice and punishing her by taking away an opportunity that she would normally have. Oh, you're not a witness anymore? I'm not going to help you anymore. And he cut her off, and she's out of that now. She lost the opportunity. So yesterday, the reason why I didn't upload a video, but I uploaded a picture in the community tab, I went to the regional office here where I live it's called the Commission of Human Rights. I went to that office and I denounced him for that, for violating, and she's a minor, for violating her human rights and her constitutional rights. And so I felt good about that because here in Honduras, one thing I feel proud about doing is I set a precedent. And I will be able to carry this with me. Even if nobody else knows about it, I know about it. I was the first person that they know of in human rights, the first denouncement, the first grievance of religious violence and discrimination. I'm the first person that's ever put one in there. Now, they told me that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It just means that people don't denounce it because of all the regular things, right? Fear, shame, ignorance. Many times it's just because they don't really know what their rights are. They don't know where to go. And that's very believable. However, my friends, well, today was very interesting. And I'm going to tell you the rest of the story now. And it's rather bittersweet because I wanted a different result. I think something came out of this, something good, but at the same time, I feel very disappointed. I feel disappointed with the Human Rights Office. And this is really typical of these countries, like in Central America. That the human rights, human rights is real blah, 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 blah. They're real big about tough talking. They tough talk all the time. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Human rights, that's a violation of human rights, this and that. And in Honduras, nobody respects human rights, and we're here to champion that. But then you go in and you put in a denouncement, and then they come back and are like, we can't really do anything, we're not going to help you. And that's basically what happened. And that's why people here don't believe in the authorities. They don't believe in the public institutions. People are so jaded and so disappointed, me being one of them, after 22 years living here, that there's another factor why people don't denounce things. It's because they simply don't want to make the effort to go. Because they know that in the end, it's all the efforts on me. I have to go there. I have to find this place, go there, make the denouncement, show the proof. I'm sticking my neck out there by denouncing somebody or an institution, which could take represalias on me later on, only to have in the end that they don't do anything. And it's like, all that effort for what? Well, I think it was worth it just because of the fact that somebody had to do it. Somebody had to stand up and raise their voice. And that was me. Because this is, as I explained to them, not just in Honduras, this is worldwide. This organization abuses people, violates their human rights, violates everything, sometimes costs their lives, and nobody wants to do anything about it. But they are getting exposed. There are lawsuits. There are investigations. There are other countries that finally woke up to Watchtower's bullshit. Applause to Norway and Lithuania. So basically, it was very interesting. At the very least, I did strike some fear into them, into Cosette's family, JW family. Because between yesterday and today, they evidently knew about, because I told Cosette, so I'm sure she told them, and they had to come up with another story. They totally changed their tune. Because they called me from the human rights in Choluteca this morning and basically told me their version of it down there. They talked to this manager and he denied it. And he said that it was because the bank has a policy. They only accept 1 or 2 people for the professional practice. And it has to be the top students, the very, very top students that have the best academic average in the class. Now, Cosette's is pretty high. She has a 94% average, 94%. I don't know what that is in other systems. It's based on a 100% system, okay? She has a 94% in finances and accounting, which is not an easy course. And I said, okay, well, you know what? That's a lie. I'm not saying that's not the bank's policy. It could very well be. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that in writing. I don't know. But he's saying that. It could be. I would believe it. However, I told them, did you ask him? That wasn't the reason that he denied her. He denied her based on the fact that she's no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's where the violation is, because that's discrimination. And as a manager of the bank, that's unethical. That's a personal thing, and that's not in his scope to kick somebody out or deny them an opportunity because of that. So I told the person who called me, the official who called me from the human rights in Choluteca, I said, it's just like me as a teacher. If a student came here to my classroom and showed interest, or to the school, of enrolling in the school and coming to my class, and I told them I was going to help them, but then all of a sudden they show up on the day, and I found out that person's Baptist, Mormon, Catholic, anything, whatever it is that I don't agree with. And I said, oh, well, you know what? On second thought, because you're a Catholic, you're not going to study here. So goodbye, go find another school. That is illegal, my friends. That is illegal. And that's what I told the person over the phone. And she said, well, I see your point of view, but it's just that we can't act on that. And I said, well, what can you do then? If you can't act on that, excuse my French, but what the fuck are human rights for? So you're just blah, blah, blah. You're just there. You're just there to give the appearance that Honduras gives a shit about human rights, but really, you're not really willing to do anything. You're just there doing the minimal and making a show out of it and uploading things on social media and just collecting a paycheck. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's a government job. But I had to go there because you have to. That's the authorities. Where else are you going to go? But the fact that they had to change their story and they had to lie justifies my denouncement. Because that tells me they had to backpedal. They had to come up with some other story because it doesn't sound good. Obviously, he wasn't going to admit it. He's going to cover his ass and he's going to give this really nice sounding textbook answer and quote company policy. But I said, that's fine. But that's not why he denied her. He didn't deny her because she didn't have the highest average in the class. He denied her because she's not one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And that is the truth, my friends. That is the truth. And you can dice that or chop it up any way you want to. That is a violation. Now, human rights isn't going to do anything about it. Oh, well. My hands are tied. I can't do anything more. But at least I took that step, and I was the first person to make that denouncement of religious violence and a violation of her human rights. You see, the human rights here and also the child protection services, they don't want to do anything unless they see a child already half dead or bleeding or out in the street or raped. I mean, it's got to be just painfully obvious, extreme. But they can't critically think. They can't analyze anything and apply the very laws and articles that they have there because they never do it. Because she told me, well, senor, she said, at the end of the day, the issue is he's not obligated to help her. It's like she told me, if someone says, you know what, I'm going to help you. I'm going to walk you across the street. I'll help you. And then they say at the last minute, well, you know what? Come to think of it, I can't really help you. And then they say no. You can't obligate them. And I told them, that makes no sense whatsoever. I told her the right way to look at that is if I say, I'm going to walk you across the street. I'm going to help you cross the street. And then I say, wait a minute. You're not a Jehovah's Witness anymore? Oh, well, if you're not a Jehovah's Witness, I'm not helping you cross the street. That is discrimination. I'm denying that person help that under any other circumstances, there is no reason why I couldn't do it. But I'm not doing it because of the fact that you don't share my religion, and I'm going to punish you, and I'm going to turn my back on you. That is violence. You don't have to be beaten, raped, or bleeding, my friends. But you know what? My soul is beaten and raped and bleeding. Because every time somebody gets their rights taken away and nobody defends them, that is a beating. That is a rape. But you know what, guys? At the end of the day, karma and the universe, God, whatever it is, they'll have to answer with due time because everything on this earth, we have to pay for. This life is just like a restaurant. Nobody leaves without paying. So at the very least, even though I'm upset, I'm angry about this, I did what I could. I stood up for my daughter. I defended her. And I can go to sleep at night with a clean conscience, with a calm conscience, knowing that I stood up. I said something. And as long as I'm here, as long as I'm breathing, and as long as I have coffee, the CO visit is going to continue. And I'm going to continue denouncing the lies of the Watchtower. Just like they lied today, it shouldn't surprise us. Watchtower has always lied and manipulated their followers. So it's no wonder that the followers, the Jehovah's Witnesses, also lie and manipulate. So it's very telling, guys, that when the superior authorities confront Jehovah's Witnesses, because Jeffrey Jackson did it in Australia, he set the precedent. When Jehovah's Witnesses get confronted by the superior authorities about their practices, they always retract. They always backpedal. They always lie. Why? Aren't you doing the right thing? Aren't you doing what Jehovah commanded you to do? Aren't you supposed to be like Paul and Peter when they left the synagogue after getting whipped? And they said, we have to keep preaching about God? We can't be quiet? Even though they just ordered them to be quiet? So why is it that every single time Jehovah's Witnesses lie? Oh, we don't do that. That's not true. We don't violate people's human rights. We don't protect pedophiles. We don't have a clergy class. Lies, lies, lies. That's why from now on, guys, I know this is going to piss off a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I hope it does. From now on, in every single one of my videos, when I refer to the worshiping building of Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm going to say the Jehovah's Witness church, because that's what you are. You're a church. You're just one more church. And you know why? Because churches have a clergy, and Jehovah's Witnesses have a clergy class. Because the Jehovah's Witness lawyers from Bethel claimed clergy status in Montana so that they don't have to report cases of sexual abuse to the authorities based on clergy secrecy privileges. You have a clergy class. If you say that you don't, you're lying or you're misinformed. So welcome to the club, Jehovah's Witnesses. You're just one more church now. So as long as I'm here breathing, this channel will continue. And we're going to continue fighting. And we're going to continue until either I die, which we're all going to die anyway. So what the hell? Or Watchtower goes down, or they change and they eliminate all of those policies. We'll see what happens first. It's a battle of wills, and I've got a whole lot of it. And there's a lot more where this came from. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Please give a like to the video, share it, get it out there. People need to know what's going on, and this is going on all over the world. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It won't cost you a thing. Things to think about today. Thanks for watching the CO visit. I'll see you guys in the next one.